most effective horror games of all time are anime horror games, since they have such a tendency to lure you in with their often cutesy visuals, only to make a drastic and horrifying turn a few hours in. Obviously, not all anime horror games follow that model and can be super scary without being cutesy, so if you're looking for games that fall into either of those categories, look no further. Here are the top 10 best anime horror games for anyone who's looking to get a little spooked while sitting down with a game. Before we get into it, remember that this list is subjective, so if we missed your favorite, make sure to let me know in the comments down below. Number 10. World of Horror. World of Horror is a great horror RPG that's a love letter to Junji Ito and H.P. Lovecraft. The story takes place in 1980s Japan, immersing players in a world that oozes sickly and macabre imagery. If you're a fan of the dark and the twisted, this game is the perfect match for your morbid interests. However, it's important to note that the game's nightmarish atmosphere might be too intense for some. In the game, you fight hideous monsters and meet ancient gods, all while trying to maintain your sanity as you descend relentlessly into madness. World of Horror is mostly a text-based adventure, but the gameplay still has a surprising level of depth and complexity, drawing you deeper into its disturbing narrative. The haunting soundtrack intensifies the feeling of urgency, relentlessly pushing you to play faster and faster, as the horrors of World of Horror never cease to haunt your thoughts, even when you step away from the screen. Number 9. Ib. Ib is a captivating indie horror game with a pixel art aesthetic that combines cuteness with terror. The game unfolds in an eerie, haunted art gallery where you guide the young protagonist Ib through a nightmarish journey. The contrast between the adorable character design and the unsettling, grotesque art pieces creates an atmosphere full of dread. With its minimalist pixel art and clever puzzles, Ib tells a haunting narrative that takes you on a psychological roller coaster. As you uncover the dark secrets within the gallery's walls, the game's eerie ambiance and unique visual style make it a terrifying and memorable horror experience. Number 8. Shin Hayami. Shin Hayami was a series that was severely underrated and only available in Japanese for years until Shin Hayami Blind Man was finally released as a mobile game for English-speaking audiences. As a visual novel, it may not be for everyone, especially those who prefer more action-oriented games, and the absence of voice acting might be a disappointment for some. That said, for those who appreciate the intricacies of detective narratives and the thrill of solving mysteries, Shin Hayami offers a unique and captivating experience with an absolutely chilling soundtrack. With its horrifying murder scenes, brutal imagery, and cast of suspicious characters in a small Japanese village, Shin Hayami immerses players in a chilling world of suspense and intrigue that deserves more recognition from horror fans. Number 7. The Witch's House. The Witch's House is a game that was originally released over a decade ago, but its remastered release on Switch made it easier than ever before to pick up. It's a short but terrifying horror RPG that puts you in the shoes of Viola, a young girl who awakens inside a mysterious manor. The Witch's House makes for a perfect horror game with its creepy atmosphere, unsettling audio design, and well-placed jump scares. Perfect for anyone who likes pixel art games, solving puzzles, and being unnerved. Number 6. Misao Definitive Edition. Misao Definitive Edition is the remake of the cult classic horror game of the same name that was released almost a decade ago. With better graphics, improved puzzles, and added event scenes, it makes for an even greater anime horror experience. The game deals with dark subject matter like the effects of bullying and cruelty. Misao has players take control of Aki, a high schooler whose friend named Misao goes missing after years of brutal bullying from her classmates. After her disappearance, you're tasked with investigating and trying to find Misao as you're haunted by her unsettling voice. Number 5. Zero Escape: The Nonari Games. Zero Escape: The Nonari Games, also known as 999, is a great sci-fi mystery visual novel with a lot of brutal horror scenes. You play as Junpei, a young college student who's been kidnapped with 8 others. The 9 of them are thrust into a horrific scenario where they've been given 9 hours to open 9 doors in order to escape a ship while all playing a twisted killing game. 999's allure lies with the choices you make, each of which has meaningful consequences shaping the course of the narrative. That said, some players have found themselves puzzled by the unpredictable nature of the outcomes. If you finish the game and find yourself wanting more, luckily 999 is the first in the Zero Escape trilogy, so there are other games for you to try. Number 4. Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony. The Danganronpa series boasts some of the best looking visual novels in the genre, and Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony is no exception. With its stunning art style and compelling characters, Danganronpa V3 is often lauded as the best in the series, although most fans agree that you won't go wrong with whichever game you choose. Thrust into a killing game by the iconic Monokuma, players are tasked with investigating the murders that their classmates commit and then proving their theories in trial. The game features some brutal execution scenes that the Danganronpa series is known for, and has what's arguably the best gameplay system in the entire franchise. Number 3. Corpse Party. The Corpse Party series offers some great horror scenes, but the first game has one of the most horrifying moments on this entire list. The series is over a decade old, but the game received a remake in 2021 which added new scenes and voice acting, although the acting is only in Japanese. Corpse Party tells the story of a handful of classmates who get transported to an alternate reality where their school is full of the dead bodies of their classmates. It's eerie, dark, and twisted in all of the best ways, and definitely worth a shot given its cult classic status. Number 2. Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. Doki Doki Literature Club Plus is the premium version of the 2017 hit, and it's undoubtedly worth playing if you're looking for a psychological horror game that gets pretty meta by the end. Doki Doki Literature Club serves as a remarkable experiment in the visual novel genre, encouraging players to step outside of their comfort zones and explore unique gaming experiences rather than sticking with the old formula. If you've never played the game before, I don't want to ruin its major twists here, but just know that there's a reason why it was the talk of the entire gaming community when it first came out back in 2017. Just know that, although it takes a little bit to really get going, once the plot kicks it into high gear, you'll be treated to a truly memorable psychological horror experience. Number 1. Madf Father. Madf Father is a criminally underrated RPG with great psychological horror elements. Despite its simple graphics, the game's sound design and well-timed jump scares come together to create a truly horrifying atmosphere that's a treat for horror game enthusiasts. It may initially resemble any other indie game, but as you delve deeper into the storyline, Madf Father reveals its dark and chilling narrative. You play as Aya, a young girl who likes to sneak around her father's laboratory, where chilling screams can often be heard breaking its eerie silence. As you explore deeper into the lab, you'll be faced with grotesque monsters and difficult truths about your father and his dark work. And that's our list of the best anime horror games. If we missed your favorite, make sure to let me know in the comments down below, and while you're down there, remember to like this video, subscribe to DualShockers, and click the bell icon to be notified whenever we post more horror game content.